into your hand.
Imagine a pool not filled with water but with a shimmering, silvery liquid. This liquid is mesmerizing, almost hypnotic, as it catches the light and reflects it back in a dazzling display. It shimmers and dances in the sunlight, its surface as smooth as a mirror. The way it moves is almost magical, like a living, breathing entity. This is mercury, a metal unlike any other. Its unique properties have fascinated humans for centuries, from ancient alchemists to modern scientists. It exists in liquid form at room temperature, a characteristic that has captivated alchemists and scientists for centuries. They've studied its properties, marveled at its beauty, and pondered its mysteries. But beneath its alluring facade lies a hidden danger, a toxicity that makes it a substance to be admired from afar, not interacted with directly. Mercury is highly toxic, and even small amounts can cause serious health problems. The idea of diving into a pool of mercury might seem like a scene from a science fiction novel, but have you ever wondered what would happen? The thought is both intriguing and terrifying. Could you swim in it like you would in water? The density of mercury is much higher than water, making it nearly impossible to swim in the traditional sense. The answer, as we delve into the fascinating and perilous world of mercury, is not as straightforward as you might think. There are many factors to consider, from its physical properties to its toxic nature, making it a subject of endless fascination and caution. Mercury, also known as quicksilver, is a chemical element with the symbol Hg. Unlike other metals that are solid at room temperature, mercury exists as a liquid. This unique property stems from the weak bonds between its atoms, allowing them to move freely, giving mercury its characteristic fluidity. Its silvery sheen and rapid movement have long made it a subject of fascination and study. This dense, silvery metal has been known to humanity since ancient times. Evidence suggests that mercury was used by the ancient Egyptians and Chinese. They recognized its unique properties and incorporated it into various applications, from medicine to art. However, they were also aware of its potential toxicity, a danger that continues to be relevant today. One of the most crucial aspects to understand when considering swimming in any liquid is density. Density is a fundamental property of matter that affects how substances interact with each other. Density is a measure of how much mass is packed into a given volume. It is calculated by dividing the mass of an object by its volume, giving us a clear idea of how tightly matter is packed together. Water, for instance, has a density of 1 gram per cubic centimeter. This relatively low density allows many objects to float on its surface. Mercury, on the other hand, has a density of 13.5 grams per cubic centimeter. This high density makes mercury much heavier and more compact than water. This means mercury is over 13 times denser than water. Such a significant difference in density has profound implications for how objects behave in these liquids. This difference in density plays a key role in buoyancy. Buoyancy is the force that allows objects to float or sink in a fluid. Buoyancy is the upward force exerted by a fluid that opposes the weight of an immersed object. The greater the density of the fluid, the stronger the buoyant force. The denser a fluid, the more buoyant it is. This principle explains why some objects float easily in certain liquids while sinking in others. This means you would float much higher in mercury than in water. The high density of mercury provides a strong buoyant force, keeping objects afloat with ease. In fact, you would only be submerged a fraction of the way, bobbing on the surface like a cork. This fascinating interplay of density and buoyancy is crucial in understanding the behavior of objects in different fluids. Section 4. The silent threat, mercury's toxicity. However, before you consider testing out mercury's buoyancy, we must address the elephant in the room, mercury's toxicity. Mercury is a heavy metal that poses serious health risks to humans. Exposure to mercury, even in small amounts, can cause a range of adverse effects. These can range from mild skin irritation to severe neurological damage and even death. Mercury poisoning can occur through various routes, including inhalation of mercury vapors, ingestion of contaminated food or water, or direct skin contact. Once inside the body, it can accumulate in organs like the brain, kidneys, and lungs, causing irreversible damage. Its effects are particularly devastating to developing fetuses and young children, affecting brain development and leading to a range of developmental problems. Section 5. A choppy swim navigating the dense liquid. Putting these significant health risks aside for a moment, let's imagine what swimming in mercury would actually feel like. Mercury is a unique element, and its properties make it vastly different from water. Its high density means it would be incredibly difficult to move through. Unlike water, which offers some resistance, Mercury's density would make every movement feel like you're pushing through a thick, heavy syrup. Imagine trying to swim through a liquid 13 times thicker than water. Each stroke would require significant effort. Your muscles would tire quickly, and you'd find it hard to maintain any speed or rhythm. You would feel heavy and sluggish, your movements slow and labored. The sensation would be akin to moving through a dense fog where every step is a struggle. Furthermore, Mercury's surface tension is much higher than water's. This means that the liquid surface would resist your attempts to break through it. This means the surface of the Mercury pool would be more difficult to break through. It would feel like trying to push through a thin, invisible film that stubbornly resists your efforts. Imagine trying to push through a thin, invisible film. That's what it would feel like to try and dive into a pool of mercury. The resistance would be immediate and unyielding. Your entry would be less of a graceful dive and more of an awkward belly flop. The impact would be jarring, and you'd struggle to gain any momentum once submerged. Section 6. The perils of a mercurial dip. So could you technically swim in a pool of mercury? Theoretically, yes, its high density would keep you afloat. But let's delve into the real dangers beyond just buoyancy. Mercury is highly toxic, and even inhaling its vapors can be hazardous. The answer to whether you should swim in it is a resounding no. Prolonged exposure can lead to severe neurological and kidney damage. Direct skin contact can cause mercury poisoning, leading to tremors and cognitive impairments. Additionally, the viscosity of mercury would make movement extremely difficult, posing a risk of drowning. It's best to appreciate the unique properties of this element from a safe distance, leaving any thoughts of a mercurial dip firmly in the realm of fantasy. Section 7. A final word of caution: admire, don't dive. The world is full of fascinating substances, each with its own unique properties and dangers. Mercury, with its shimmering allure and hidden toxicity, serves as a powerful reminder that not everything that glitters is gold. While it might be tempting to imagine diving into a pool of liquid metal, the reality is far less appealing and infinitely more dangerous. So the next time you encounter mercury, remember its beauty is best observed from afar. Appreciate its unique characteristics, marvel at its fluidity, but always respect its potential for harm. The world is full of wonders to explore. Let's choose those that don't come with such a hefty price tag.